Hey everybody, Monday morning, 8 a.m. can only mean one thing. It's the latest episode of the Shot Clock podcast with me, your host, Jago. Today's guest is the founder of Why Not Me Athletic Training, Why Not Me Hoops, Why Not Me Camps, Why Not Me? It's Puff Summers. Hey everybody, welcome to the Shot Clock podcast with me, Jago. Today's guest is Ireland assistant coach, head coach and founder of Why Not Me Hoops and Why Not Me Athletic Development, has played with Ballina, Star, Moy Cullen, UL, and now 5 years with Temple Oak, heading into his fifth year with Temple Oak as player assistant coach. Somebody who you can always reach out to on social media, somebody who gives up so much time to our young players and our Super League players, somebody I'm very proud to call a friend, and somebody who I've reached out to a lot recently. Mr. Puff Summers, welcome to the podcast.
Man, I appreciate you having me. I'm glad to be here.
Look, you were one of the first names that came to mind because, you know, I need to know more about Puff. Not Puff the player or Puff the trainer, okay. just Puff in general.
Yeah.
You know? So look.
Hey, well, I'm an open book, man, so fire away.
Excellent. So I've started every podcast kind of the same way with this weird world we're living in. How's COVID been treating you?
Oh yeah. So the first lockdown hit, and I was, I thought that I was made for this kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like I'm strong-willed and I'm mentally tough, and I'm disciplined. So I'm going to work out every day and work on my body and work on my mind, and it was a perfect scenario for the type of person that I was. And being that I felt like I was going to bring everybody else who was involved, players and kids that I trained, they were going to come on the same journey with me. So, whatever I'm doing to better myself, I'm about to make them create great habits in themselves and be disciplined, and we're going to kick COVID's ass. That's how I was feeling in the first lockdown, and we did it. And the kids came out, and once it opened back up and I had camps and workouts, nobody had lost a beat. Everybody was gaining something from having so much time on their hands. Then we got into that second lockdown, and I was still there, still trying to push and push and push and there. And then we got to this third lockdown, and I was like, sheesh. And I'm as motivated as you can get, but it's definitely taking its toll on me mentally and making me think outside of the box as far as how to get up and do things and be productive every day. So, it's like everybody, it's making you really think about who you are and what you want to be. And the lockdowns are no joke, man.
That's very true. Look, there's two Instagram pages I jump on every day. You being one, and Garrett McGuire being the other one, because Garrett will say something inspirational, and then I'll jump on your page and I'll see you working out or getting shots up or setting a challenge, and I'm like, right, okay, like I can stay with this. If these two guys are doing, I can stay in this, and that's what's been getting me out. Like, there's been days where I've sat on the couch and I've gone, I just can't get up and walk anymore.
Yeah.
I'm sick of that lamppost that I've passed the last 7 months.
Yeah,
and then I watch one of your videos. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna get up.
Yeah.
And do it, So.
But some like it got to a point to where, like, because I was setting challenges every day, that it almost felt like it was a pressure on me to deliver something to help motivate people. You know what I mean? So like I was going through this. I went through like a week or two period that I was just like, man, if I don't do something, I'm gonna let everybody down. And one of my friends back home just had to sit me down and be like, it's not a pressure. Like, what you're giving to people and the motivation you're giving, like, that's a gift. That's an extra. That's the extra in their life. There's no expectations. That means you have to set the standard, and it's okay for you to have those down days where you don't feel like doing anything. And as soon as I started thinking of the motivational things that I try to put out as an obligation, I really just had to sit down and kind of reflect and be like, look, like, every day, and I try to preach it, every day is an opportunity to get better and to do what you love and to be around the people you love. And, that social media shit, it hit me because it's addictive, and you just, you're trying to make sure it's perfect so everybody can do it and get it right, and you're explaining it right. It definitely took its toll on me, man.
See, look, this is one of these things. It's nice to hear from somebody who is so highly motivated, so disciplined. And it's great to be able to have that this conversation where you go, you know what? I went down the rabbit hole of, you know, 100%. I have to do this. I must. And it's great to also have a friend who can turn around to you and go, just hang on a minute. Just relax.
Yeah.
Take a step back and go, right, breathe, and then go again. Because like I struggled a couple of weeks ago. It just got to the point where I felt the four walls were closing in on me. And I was in that place where I was like, I don't want to do anything. And like one of your videos came up, Gareth Maguire posted something. I went, right, that's it. I got up and I walked. But I was honest about it. I posted on social media that I was struggling. And it's amazing the amount of basketball people who reached out within a split second of that post going up. And it just shows our community.
Hey, our community is deep.
It's a family.
Yeah. Yeah, it's deep, man. It's deep for real. And like Jared, like there's some days, and I was telling you earlier that like I am very blessed to be able to get into a gym every day, and I have a shooting machine, and I can do it every day. But it got to the stage where like I have 4 balls in the machine, and I know which ball is which, and I started having competitions like within the balls, like this ball that's 1-0, 1-1. And I was like, man, I think I'm going crazy because I'm naming the balls. I'm like, you know what I mean? Like I need to get out of here for a couple of days. Because I'm going crazy.
When it gets to what was that? When it gets to the castaway point where you're calling you know, Wilson, just like Tom Cruise or Tom Hanks did, you're like, it's time to walk away from. Just lock the door, take a week.
No, I swear. I swear, I was in a shooting drill. I was like, all right, that's 6 for ball 4, 4 for ball 3, and like, you know what I mean? I was going through it. I was really competing with the different balls. I was like, all right, like I love basketball and all, but like I need to go read a book or something. Something else got.
So look, we'll go back to the very start. Who, what, or why inspired you to play basketball for the very first time? What brought you to the gym?
What brought me to the gym was like my dad was never really a player, but he was always around the game. Like he put it on when at a young age. I was watching. I was always a Lakers fan, so he was a Lakers fan. He loved Magic Johnson. Sorry, he loved Magic Johnson, and he hated the Celtics. And it was always, you know, Magic was the black guy, and Larry was the white guy. So I was like, all right. So I love the black guy. You know what I mean? I love Magic, and he was just tall, and he was doing all these crazy things. And I was only young. You know, I was only 6 or 7 when I really started watching Magic play. But then my dad would take me to all the courts, and everybody was at the park playing all the time. And I love that atmosphere. I love the loud music. I love guys on the side just drinking 40s and smoking weed. I love just being around it because like that was a separate thing, but everybody had a place there. You know what I mean? And I was like, this is what I want to be. And my mom and dad got divorced, and he kind of left. And when he left, it was like some added motivation was thrown in there. It was like, this is something that my dad loved and that we love together. So I'm going to be really, really good at it. Because in my 10 or 11-year-old head, it's like, if I'm really good at this, he's going to want to spend even more time with me. You know what I mean? So it lit a fire. And, I wasn't the best when I was growing up, but I loved it and I worked at it and I stayed. I was there earlier than everybody at the parks, and then I stayed later and I shot, as cliche as that sounds. And it was just like, day after day after day, it became my therapist, and I wanted to be around it all the time. So, my dad got me started, and I happened to have a mentor in my hometown, Culpeper, Virginia. His name was Keith Jennings, who was a 5'7" guy that went to East Tennessee State, and then he got to the NBA, played with the Warriors for a few years. So he kind of took me under his wing, and he was like, I'm a little guard, you're a little guard. So that's the best friends. So he kind of took me under his wing, and he took me everywhere and worked me out. And so my dad got me started, and then Keith, Mr. Jennings, kept me going and kind of got me to a level where I could compete.
Well, it's nice to have a mentor, I have to say. And no matter what you're doing, it's nice to have somebody that can drive you.
Necessary.
The arm around the shoulder when it's needed as well, to say, look, just relax, it's okay. It will come to you,
Yeah, man.
So,
necessary.
Like I said, you started Ballina, Star to Sea for a small stint. Moycullen, Eagles, Swords Thunder, very successful with Swords. Killester, Kilkenny, and Temple Oak. So this one's going to cause a bit of controversy amongst your former teammates. Who's your favorite teammate and why?
Favorite teammate. Whew. It's hard, man. Like, the first one that jumped out to me when I think about this question is the other American that I played with in Moycullen. His name was Nate Fritsch. It was still a one American league, so we were sharing minutes. But Nate Fritsch is a guy that we went to high school together. So he was one of my best friends. And we ended up playing together in Moycullen. He actually moved in with my wife and I and our small baby. So we spent all of our time together that year. And really, it was like I was watching him play a lot. Like he was playing 25 to 30 minutes, and I was playing like 10 to 15. And this is me in my prime. So, so a big part of me wanted to be jealous and mad at him for getting all the minutes, but he was my brother. And he left a few games early because he went to another job in Kosovo, I think. And when he left, I had like a 50-point game, a 37-point game. Like I just unleashed, you know what I mean? I just went crazy. But he's probably my favorite ever teammate. But taking Americans out of account, 100%, I think it's probably Chris Arcilla, the young point guard that we have for Temple Oak now. Like Jason, I'm probably the closest to on our Temple Oak team, but Chris comes in every single day and he's happy and he has energy and he wants to learn and he wants to get better and he wants to compete. And we play one-on-one after every practice, and he's just come to be, one of my favorite people. That has nothing to even do with basketball, just his personality. He's probably my favorite teammate, man.
Brilliant, great answer, and two good guys as well. Chris is great to watch to play. Man, he's
unbelievable.
Yeah, he's.
But he's another one. He's another one in this situation where, if Chris is playing well, then I know I'm not going to play. We're going to keep our other American in the game. And Chris is going to rock. And there's never been 1 second of disdain for me when Chris is playing well. You know what I mean? Like everything is like, if Chris plays well and he plays 38 minutes and I play 2 minutes and the other American has to play 38 minutes, whoever that may be, like I'm there. And I'm just as engaged. I'm, if you throw me in for 2 minutes at the end of the game and you need me to make a play, like I'm professional enough and mature enough to do that. But Chris is a guy that you can't not root for. You know what I mean? You can't be against Chris. He's a great guy.
Yeah, the game you against Aina out in your gym just before Christmas 2 years ago now. Like Chris balled that game. Like what
he was killing it.
Unbelievable. Like I remember just sitting there. It was the first time I'd seen him play. I was just taken aback by his talent.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, he's the real deal, man. He's the real deal. I think it was Hillary he was killing that game. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. Might have been Hillary.
No comments. So you've been around the league a long time. Who would you say was the toughest person you've had to guard? And then on the flip side, who's that one player that you hate coming up against because he guards the ass off you every night?
Yeah. So I'm not even going to count Americans right now because they're kind of come and go. There's not been many Americans you get to play more than once or twice. But as far as the Irish guys that really hard to guard, like Paul Dick is obviously hard to guard. He's a 6'4" point guard. Kind of plays bully ball from the point, really long arms, can score, can kind of do everything. So he might be one of the hardest to guard. The hardest to play against is 1,000% a guy named James Loughnane from Moycullen. He's a little pesky guard. I played with him when I was at Moycullen, and every day it was like, there's not many people that can get me to the stage where I want to actually throw blows. But James is just one of those little ass guards, just gets up into your, like he does what I do to everybody else. Just gets up underneath you and is always there, always anticipating your next move. Flopping, trying to take 1 million charges a game. You know what I mean? So so he was actually a groomsman. He annoyed me so much, and I appreciated his game so much as a teammate. Like he was a groomsman at my wedding. I love this dude. So I was like, yo, I love what you about. I want you to be on the most important day of my life. I want you to be by my side, but I hate playing against your little ass. So definitely James Lockman on that front.
Brilliant, brilliant. So basketball players, we're notoriously superstitious. We've got our routines. We've got what's your superstitions? Have you got any, or have you a game day routine that if it gets thrown off, you don't feel right?
Yeah. So when I was home, when I was playing for Kilkenny for 3 years, it was a specific, I go into the gym 2.5 hours early. I do my shooting routine, and I have like 3 different shooting routines. So for the road, I have a shooting routine because I know I'm not going to get that many shots at that much time. For home games, if there's something on in the gym before, I have like a 150 shot routine when I don't have much time. When I have a lot of time, it's like 100, 190 shot routine. So just like everything is in my head. I know exactly what it is. Nobody messed with me at that time. And then after that, I'll take a shower. And then as other people are starting to come in, I'm getting dressed with the team, and then I come out and do my thing. So kind of similar with Temple Oak. I'm always there 2.5 hours early. I get my shooting routine in. I take my shower at home games. And then, I have my coffee on the way up to the game. And then I get dressed with the team, and then we go out and rock. Nothing crazy, but, just kind of settles me in and lets me feel at peace with being prepared.
Yeah, I was strange. I used to have to be the last one out of the dressing room, and I never warm up with my jersey on. My jersey gets hung on the back of the chair. I warm up with a t-shirt, and then I change it. I don't know where this came from.
It's probably because you're a big ass dude and you was probably sweating through your jersey, dog.
Yeah. So here's one I love because I'm a sneaker guy. So what's your favorite kicks? If you could call any company in the world and say, I need like a Puff limited edition PE for the rest of my career, what's your game shoe? What do you want to wear for the rest of your life?
Oh man. So like just my favorite shoe ever is the Jordan 13. Like I call him the Jake Shuttlesworth. The one Jake Shuttlesworth was wearing in He Got Game.
Yes.
The Jake Shuttlesworth. I got married in those. Like I didn't wear no dress shoes. I wore my 13. I'll send you a picture later. Right? I got 13 as my shoe. Right? Yeah, I'll send you that. So but I wouldn't but now Jordan is such at this level in my head that I would never play in a pair of Jordans ever. Right? I'm not playing in J's because he's the GOAT. I've retired his shoes forever. But so my favorite playing shoe would probably be the Paul George 1s or the Kyrie 2s or maybe the James Harden 2s. I don't know. That's hard, man. But the Paul George 1s are probably my ones. I love those. I think I have like 3 pair of those anyway.
Interesting. I need to look these up. The PG ones.
I'm a sneaker guy, bro. I'm a sneaker guy. So
what's on your feet for this coming season?
But like if you come to our games, it depends. Like number one, if I lose in a pair of shoes, like that pair is done for the rest of the year. I don't wear them anymore. I do, like, it's my addiction. Like I don't really drink that much. I don't smoke. Like I don't do any of those things, but I buy shoes. I do that. That's my addiction. So I don't know. I got some PG 5s that I've been wearing and working out in. I got the Harden 5s that I was gonna rock this season. I got the Kyrie 7s. I got a couple pair of them. So I was ready. I was ready for the season, man. I was ready.
I was going Zoom Freak 2 this year.
Oh yeah, I got a pair. Yeah, I like them too. I like them
and then
too.
Then when everything was closing down, I was like, oh, I'll wait. I'll just hang back. And then bought none. Yeah. So now it's like next season, I'm like, right, what am I going to rock? I don't know yet. I haven't decided. I know my last season, regardless of when it is, it's Jordan 9s.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Jordan 9s. I don't care how much they cost me. I'm wearing them. They were the shoe that I had my most successful stint in within Irish basketball. I'd made Irish teams, Leinster teams, wearing the Jordan 9. So yeah, Jordan 9s. That's it. Last year.
That's when they originally came out too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope. That's so dope. That's dope.
So you've mentioned some of your teammates. It's you and 4 others going to a pickup game. Winner stays on. You can pick people you've played with or people you would have loved to play with. You and 4 others positionally.
Right, I've thought about this a lot. And let me say, I am the pickup guy in Ireland. Like I organize games, any pickup game. If you call me, if I'm near the area, I'm 100% there, right? So this is not based on who I think the best players in the league are or anything like that. This is based on playing pickup with these dudes who I know I can run the table with, right?
Nice.
So, all right. So, like, I'm the point or the 2, because in pickup, I can be the 2 and I can let that thing fly. Barry Drum is my other guard, Shifty Barry from UCD. And then on the wing, the other wing, I got Lorcan, just because Lorcan is Lorcan and he's going to do Lorcan-esque things. You know, he's going to get you, if you go on a 7, he's going to get you 4 quick points just being Lorcan, right? And then my bigs, this is going to probably cause a little bit of controversy, but my 4-man is going to be Steve James, who's not really a 4, but he's a utility guy. He's the Draymond Green. He'd be setting back screens and pickup games and, you know what I mean, like playing the right way. So he's going to get us a few wins. And then Kev Foley, 100% is my 5. And nobody would think that, but he's big enough and tough enough to guard any big in the country. Has enough attitude and, you know, just swagger to not give a shit. And he can shoot. You know what I mean? So that's my 5. And we're about to run the table with that.
Me and Kev used to go at it way back when.
I believe that. Yeah, I believe it, man. Because when I came in the league, I was looking. I remember we was about to play UCD the first time, and I was looking at the stats or whatever, and it was like Kev Foley, 22 points a game. And I'm trying to look online, like what college this dude went to in the States. I'm thinking he's their American. Because, you know, back then, like UCD would always bring in these white boy Americans. So I was like, yo, he must be one of the Americans. And they was like, nah, that's the Irish dude. I was like, what? Yeah, getting bad.
Good ball.
Getting buckets, bro.
Coming back this season with Malahide, allegedly.
I love that. Yeah, and he looked really good in the summertime when I saw him too.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing them
really
play,
good.
actually.
They was gonna be tough.
Yeah, definitely. So we're gonna change lanes. We're gonna come into. I know you love your music, so we're gonna talk about music. Your top 5 musical artists of all time. Who are the 5 you couldn't live without?
Okay, top 5. And this is tough. This is a tough question, man.
Number 1, Nipsey Hussle. Right, so go for the other 4.
Nah. Nipsey don't make top 5. Nipsey don't make top 5. This top 5 ever. Like, so number 1 for me is Michael Jackson. Gotta be. Michael Jackson, number 1, hands down. Man, every album, fire. Right? So number 2, it has to be Prince. And this is because I grew up with a bunch of old souls, man. I grew up with Prince. If you didn't know Prince, then you couldn't live where I live. You couldn't be around the old black people at all the cookouts if you didn't love Prince. So Michael Jackson, Prince, and then 3 is I'm a big Tupac guy, which is probably why I like Nipsey so much, because they're, you know, the whole just enlightened rapper type dude, which Tupac was. And then 4 is Jay-Z, just because, you know, he just came out with hits for decades. And 5, I think it has to be Marvin Gaye. I think it has to be, man. I think just that whole mellow, cool, chilled out, talking about heartbreak and screaming into the mic. Marvin Gaye has to be my 5th. So probably not a 5 that people would have picked for me, but you know, I'm a lot more mellow than always seeming hyped on my videos and all that. You know.
Look, I can't argue any of them. I love Prince. Love Michael Jackson. Yeah, that's a solid. It's a solid 5.
Yeah.
So staying with music, you're the DJ. What are the 3 songs we're warming up to right before tip off?
Okay, so Nipsey's here now. Nipsey got to be here now. So, all right. So number 1 is this song, Nipsey Hussle, "Double Up." You know, anybody who's at any of my camps or workouts, when that song comes on, they know we're gonna have to pause the workout for 2 or 3 minutes because I gotta listen for a second, you know. So Double Up is my joint. Number two would be Kendrick Lamar's Loyalty. Loyalty, that's my joint. That's on, like, I make the playlist for most of the Temple O games, and those two songs are always on it. It doesn't matter what people put into the chat that they want on it, those two are mainstay. And then number three would probably be Notorious B.I.G. Biggie with Juicy, just because it's just a feel good song.
Three good songs. Yeah. So you're responsible for the Temple Oak music. I must remember that. Just, you know.
Oh, yeah. So you can see every game the commissioner comes over to the scores table and be like, "This has too much cursing in it." And, you know, they come over and it's a few games they made me take it off. And it's like, I need to play a lot this game because I'm pissed off now and I'm about to get somebody 30. But then I remember that I'm like almost 40 years old and Mark is like, "Chill out, Puff, go sit your ass down."
Mark Keenan, the voice of reason.
He is, man. He is. I'll be fired up when they turn my music off sometimes. Like, "Yo, let me start this game. I'm about to give him 30. He's like, "Chill out."
So you spoke about your dad getting you into basketball, and that the driving force behind that was, you know, getting him to spend more time with you. What advice would you give to a 16-year-old Puff if you could sit him down right now and, you know, everything that you know, everything you've learned through life, what advice would you give a 16-year-old?
And this probably goes against what I say to most kids, because most kids see me online and they think you should be working out every second of every day. But, you know, one thing that I've learned going to all these different countries and experiencing all these different things and through basketball is that I wish I could tell my younger self, when you are going to go through that, like, to enjoy the things around you more. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many times, like in England, I was in London for a prolonged amount of time, and I never went to see any sites in London. I've been living in Ireland for so long. There's still so many beautiful things in Ireland that I haven't just taken the time to see. When I was in Australia, I wasn't the guy sending pictures of me holding a koala or going out on the beach or going to see the kangaroos. I was just in the gym. You know, in every country I went to Portugal. I couldn't tell you anything about the town that I was in. I just went to the gym. You know, anywhere that I've been, I stayed in the gym, and, you know, obviously I needed to, and I was committed, but I wish I could go back and tell 16-year-old me that even in college, like, go to that party, man. Like, go to that party, you know, like, yo, even in high school, like, in high school, I was getting up at 5:30 every single morning. Like, I didn't eat a sweet. I didn't eat a chocolate for 3 years because I was like, I had to play Division I. Like, this was my thing. And so I go back, I think about it now. It's just like, yo, have a Hershey bar, bro. Have a Hershey. Like, it's not gonna kill you. You know, enjoy that. Go enjoy some time with your family. Be around your kids a little bit more. Like, all of that. Like, I wish I could tell 16-year-old Puff that. And for anybody listening, for all the kids especially, you got to work your ass off at what you want to be great in, but you also got to take time to appreciate the things and the people that are getting you to that point, helping you be at that point. You know, so that would be my advice to myself.
Great advice for people even now, especially with what's going on at the minute. Like, none of us thought we'd be without basketball for a full year.
Yeah, never. This is unthinkable.
You know, and like me and you spoke the start of the first lockdown, and I said, "Oh, I've got one more year left of me," and you were like, "Why?" And I was like, "I'm 44," and you're like, "So what? Play until you can't walk." And I was like,
"Yeah,
you know what? Now more than ever, that's how I feel. I'm like, I need to get some more seasons, because like I walked away at 23 for 8 years. I played played Super League for 3 years again. Walked away from basketball again for 7 years, and now I'm getting, like, I started played Division 2 at 42 years of age. Like, I'm 45 in September, and I'm looking into a Division 1 season in Dublin, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going anywhere. You're not getting rid of me.
You like MJ, bro. You MJ. You taking them little sabbaticals and you come back ready.
Yeah, look, none of mine were for baseball. That's. So we're at the second last question. this is the one I love this one because it gives an insight into the person. So, dead or alive, 5 dinner guests at your table when restrictions lift. Just, in case the government are watching this, I'm not advocating visits to people's houses. But dead or alive, so it can be friend, family, or famous. 5 people. Who's Puff bringing to dinner?
So number one is Kobe. Like Kobe's got to come. I need to pick his brain, man. I need to talk to him. I need to see if you know how everybody, when Kobe passed, everybody felt connected to Kobe. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's doing things and he's specifically reaching out or speaking to me. That's how I felt. So I want to be around his aura and just pick his brain and listen to him for a while. The second person would be Barack Obama, just because the mystique of being the first Black president, like this, like to a lot of Black people, man, this dude like walks on water. He's just like, he's not even a human being, but he is a human being. He comes across as really down to earth, and I'd love to have him at my dinner table. Another person that I'd want would be my aunt Cece. She died when I was 16. She was the reason that I went to the private boarding school that I ended up going to. And because I went there, I ended up at Davidson, and it just, it got me out of a life that, it might not have turned out the way it did if I had gone to the public school in my hometown, So, she was my biggest supporter. She would have loved Obama, man. She would have loved Obama so much. I just remember just sitting in her house and just, sitting down, and we'd watch like Georgetown Hoyas games for days. This when Georgetown was good. So she was just the biggest sports fan and just my biggest fan. So I'd love to have a chance to talk to her again. Another person I'd want is my brother, Tim, who is, he wouldn't add much to the conversation with Kobe and Obama there, but he would crack jokes and he'd have a joint or a blunt beside him. So he'd make everybody feel uncomfortable because he's going to do his own shit. And, I love that dude because he's comfortable in his own skin and he doesn't care that he's not the most articulate, and he'll talk that shit with anybody, And then fifth, I think I would bring my father-in-law, man, which is probably funny that most people wouldn't say, but he was the chairman of the club in Ballina that brought me in, and I ended up marrying his daughter, and he just has so many stories. Most of them he'd just be talking shit. Like he just literally just be just talking out the side of his neck. But I would love to see him tell his stories to Obama and Kobe and my aunt, because, it's just like he would just really bring you in. He has the gift of the gab. I just really enjoy being around him.
Brilliant. Here now, just a little follow on from that. What are we having for dinner? And are you cooking or are we ordering in?
Nah, on CC cooking, yo. It's gonna be something. It's gonna be like fried pork chops or fried chicken, or we having collard greens. Yeah, we gonna get diabetes from this shit. We're not gonna be healthy. We're not gonna be healthy in this meal. We're gonna have cholesterol levels gonna be high. We might all get heart attacks after, but we're gonna enjoy it. We're gonna kick it up, have some red wine, and talk that shit. It'll be a great day.
Brilliant. Love it. Absolutely love it. So look, we're coming up on the last question. But before I ask you this last question, I just want to again extend my thanks to you for coming on. I want to hold that ladder and shine that spotlight as well for all the work that you've done over the lockdowns and before the lockdowns for all the kids and for Super League players and players like myself. You're inspirational. The work that you do inspires me. I know it inspires a lot of people. As I said to you off camera, your name has come up multiple times on different episodes of this as a guy who people admire. Hillary talks some shit, but like, hey, you can watch that episode yourself. But look, Puff, I really appreciate your time. I know you're a busy man, homeschooling and, getting the kids out on the trampoline and stuff like that. It makes me smile every day when I see what you're up to, So really, thank you for this.
Thank you, man. Thank you for that.
No problem.
Yeah, and this is my pleasure. I feel indebted to you for letting me just come on and just because we've talked so much online, just getting to chop it up with you a little bit, like real life, as close to real life as we can get right now.
Right now,
Yeah, when this is over, man, we gonna meet up some night in Dublin, and we just gonna have a couple drinks and just kick back
No, I
and
want to. I
you know,
want to
hopefully
bring you
games.
to. I need to bring you down to Walkinstown, Cluck Chicken Truck.
Yeah,
That's some good chicken, bro. That's some good
I'm
chicken.
there. You know, you know me. I'm there. Hey, say less. I'm there.
Excellent. Right. So, last question: who would you like to see on the podcast?
Yeah. I think so. Just talking to you during this, and you brought up a couple things, and the first thing that stands out about this guy to me is whenever I come to practice and I'm talking about feeling old and feeling my age, he always throws his dad out there. He says, "Hey, my dad was 45 playing in a cup final with Colester, Ed Randolph." So Neil is a great guy that you need to get on, man. And I think it's from that aspect that he was a young pudgy kid in Ireland who was kind of under the shadow of his father, who everybody adores. And then obviously his brother, who made Irish teams and obviously is a soccer superstar. So he was the fat pudgy kid that he kind of grew into his own body, and came into his own when he was kind of 17, 18. And then he went and had a great Division III career in America. Got his master's in Newcastle, and then came over here, and he's a star in the league. Like, he is one of the best players, hand down, in the Super League. And to make that journey, his journey is different than most coaches' sons who just kind of come into it in its natural form. You know what I mean? So I think hearing from him, like, it would enlighten a lot of people, and it would let a lot of these kids know that you don't have to be great at age 13, 14, 15. Because, to me, he's one of the top 5 Super League players in the country now at age 26, 27, right? So I think Neil Randolph would be a great guy to have.
I'll reach out. I also want to get Ed on. I need to hear Ed.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, me and Ed went at it.
Yeah. Ed is
like
Ed's never. Man, tough too, in shape. That boy is in shape.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Like, I see him, he be skipping rope and getting ready for the games. I'm like, man, like, how can I complain? This dude is however old he is, however young he is, I should say, and he's just in it. Is he?
61.
Man. Jeez, yeah. So I gotta play Super League till at least 40 then. He's 61 still running around.
40, keep going. Keep going. Take the advice you gave me. Keep going until you can't go no more. That's
Hey, bro, look, the way I look at it, John Stockton was a little unathletic white boy who played in the NBA till he was 41. And I gotta be able to play practicing 2-3 times a week. I gotta be able to do that.
Absolutely. You've got 10 years left. Easy 10 years.
I might if these girls becoming teenagers don't kill me first.
Yeah. I got 2 girls as well. It's not easy.
Yeah, man. Yeah. What age are your girl?
10 and 3, and then I have a 7-year-old boy as well.
Yeah, I got 12 and 4. So yeah, you feeling what I feel.
It's not easy.
You feeling what I feel. At least you got that boy in the middle. At least you got that boy in the middle to even things out a little bit.
Bullied from both sides. That's what he gets.
Yeah. That's it.
Appreciate your time, Puff. No doubt we'll bump into each other. We'll hit the Cluck Chicken Truck.
Yes, sir.
Glass of wine, a nice chicken burger, and we'll all be good. You look after yourself.
Hey, I appreciate you. Yeah, you too, man. Stay in touch.
You too.
All right, my guy.
So that was Puff's episode, the Cluck Chicken episode. Anybody who loves their chicken wings, chicken burgers, chicken tenders, and some loaded fries, Cluck Chicken Truck on Instagram, and you'll find them at the Walkinstown roundabout. They're the little yellow, cool-looking Airstream type truck down there. They're there from Wednesday to Sunday, clucking around 3 o'clock most days, and they go until they sell out. Absolutely well worth a visit. Friends of the podcast, and probably the reason that I'll head into the season slightly out of shape. Head over to our Instagram page. Vote on the 5v5. It's Team Scally versus Team Summers. Who's going to win? Can Team Scally be taken off the court? That's the magic question. looking until Thursday when we drop the next episode. This is Jago saying, I really need a barber shop. I'll see you on the court soon.